Greetings from Kigali Global Dialogue in Kigali, Rwanda. I'm Nikhila Natarajan. I work as fellow with Observer Research Foundation. And with me is Elizabeth Kasujja, CEO and co-founder, Clear Your Mind. So Clear Your Mind basically works on breaking stigma around mental health. Elizabeth, there's one national referral mental hospital for 40 million people. That's what I read.
Yes, that's true.
What does that mean? Is that one of the reasons you started this? What took you to this place?
Okay, thank you very much, Nikki. I'm really happy to be here. And what took me to this place? In my country, in Uganda, like you've mentioned, we have one national referral mental hospital. We have a population of 40 million people, and we have 34 psychiatrists to cater to that population. And you'll find that when I ventured into the mental health space, it was not something that in my mind, it was not the original cause of things. Maybe just to share a personal story, how Clear Your Mind started. In 2016, my siblings and I suffered a catastrophe that left me feeling really alone. My siblings have been my support system my whole life, and because we did not know how to help each other, it was the first time that I was without my support system. So even when I got depressed, I was not entirely aware that, this is depression that I'm dealing with. I had this self-stigma of, people like me don't suffer depression. I kept thinking, I have a good life. There are people who are hungry. There are people who have no houses. I kept telling myself, it's not right for me to feel the way that I feel. And as is the issue with mental health issues, the more you ignore it or pretend it's not happening, the more it escalates into something else. So something else that started as stress and depression escalated to depression and anxiety, and before you knew it, I was dealing with suicidal tendencies. And when my siblings and I finally got together, we said, we need to do something about this. We need to give mental health a human voice. We need to make it okay for people to come forward when they're not okay. Yeah, of course.
I think it's important. So you don't know what you don't know. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
So what tipped the balance? When did you know that it's an issue?
Yeah. So when I got suicidal, I confided in my sister that, I'm having these thoughts and I don't think they are right. And my sister insisted that it was important that we see a professional. And I told her, no, I don't think that's necessary. And she absolutely insisted. And at that point, because there is so much stigma around it, we did not even know where to go to find affordable professional health care. So when I came out of it, I talked to a professional because my sister insisted. But when I came out of it, I discussed with my siblings, it's important not only to help people be aware of these mental health issues, that it can happen to anyone, because let's say depression, it can be sparked by different things: losing a loved one, grief, breaking up with someone you love, and so many different things, or a financial situation. So it was important that we bring awareness to it and people know, if I'm dealing with this, how do I get help? So with Clear Your Mind, we've raised that awareness for mental health, and we connect people who are dealing with mental health issues to the professional help they need, because we want to end that stigma. We want to make mental health a mainstream conversation. So the more we talk about it, the less power it has to victimize the people who suffer from mental health issues.
Okay, so this is about what you are doing.
Yes.
But my question is, how do people reach out to you? Where do they come from, and how do they get to know about you?
So interestingly, because the field is so, we did not realize what a huge problem it was when we were starting out, but it turns out it's a huge problem because currently we are overwhelmed. People find us on social media. We are there. Our brand name is Clear Your Mind. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have a website, www.clearyourmind.com. And usually you'll find that someone who has used our services will then refer another person, because they know that, the help that we provide really works.
So
Also,
the referral is the strongest mechanism?
Yes.
It mostly is
Yes.
in most businesses. Tell us, what's the role of technology? Because I see a lot of that mentioned on your literature, on your company literature.
Yes.
What is the role of technology and what you're doing?
So I feel that in our current world, you can't ignore the role of technology in the sense that much as it's eating away at very many people, it's also part of the cure. When someone is feeling alone, technology has made the world a really small global village. I could be sitting right here and I call someone in the US in real time. Before I would have to send a letter, wait 2 weeks for it to be delivered, 2 weeks for it to come back, but now you can communicate in real time. So you'll find that when people are dealing with mental health issues, most people have admitted to the first thing they do, they go online and see, you know, can I find a community here? Has anyone else suffered the same, you know, fate? So we found that, you know, how about to use what is plaguing people to be part of the cure. So we use the website to spread that information and raise that awareness. And we use social media a lot because social media is extremely interactive. Someone sends us a message on Facebook and we can respond right away. And we have a database of mental health care professionals, and we found that many times the person who's dealing with a mental health issue does not reach out themselves. It's someone who cares about them and they're like, you know, I'm worried about my person, this and this and this is happening. So you'll find that sometimes when the person accepts to see a professional, they want a certain type of person. Maybe they care about the religion of the person or their beliefs or their age range, and we have a database where our professionals are profiled so that we know who to pair with whom. Yeah.
Once all this is set in motion, do you have a way of measuring what you're doing? I understand these are lives you're dealing with, and much of what you're talking about can spread, you know, like over many years. But do you measure outcomes in this business?
I love that question because it's something we keep asking ourselves at Clear Your Mind. How do you measure life? How do you decide that, you know, someone had depression and now, you know, they feel better, but they've improved in this aspect of their life, but this one is still struggling? You know, it's a daily, it's something you work at every day, and because circumstances and environments are changing, like, how do you measure life? So while we are still working on how to quantify everything that we do, I'm always encouraged. You know, one of the things I really underestimated starting out in Clear Your Mind is running a mental health organization is hard when you suffer a mental health condition yourself. So you find that some days it's hard. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do it. I wonder if it's worth it. And, you know, so it's people who reach out to say, you know, people have given us testimonials. You help them, or you help someone they referred and they send these raving reviews. Thank you so much. I have my sister back. There is someone who checks in with me every single day because she's like, if it wasn't for Clear Your Mind, she found out about Clear Your Mind. She was in a salon doing her hair and it was a magazine. And she's like, you know what? She said she did not want to die ugly. Like, so it was very, she says because of Clear Your Mind, her life was saved. So, yeah.
You know, it's almost awkward for me to ask you this, but I have to. So you started this. How do you finance this? Is it viable in that sense? Or are you just doing it because you want to do this and you don't care about the money? How does this work?
So I started this with my siblings, Moses, Dennis, Epi, Alice, and Olavi. And when we started it, we did not think like business people, which is important in the sense that how do you create something that creates so much value and you do not think of its sustainability? And as we've grown bigger, it gets like, you know, people reach out and they can't afford like the cheapest mental health care professional. And in the past, we've had to, you know, okay, how much is the professional charging per hour? 50,000. And then we pay for it. Like, it's something we started out of passion. So we still, like, if someone can pay, so far the model has been, if someone can pay, that's great. If they can't, we are still there to help. But I'm really thankful that recently we won the Queen's Young Leaders Award in 2018. And we have received support from Comic Relief, and we hope to pursue that partnership further.
Fantastic. Elizabeth Kasujja, thank you so much.